The American healthcare system is broken, and murder is bad. It's crazy, but you can hold both of those ideas in your head at the exact same time. I can admit that I found some of the jokes about this shooting funny. Some of the memes were funny. And I also could partially agree with some of the sentiment. The American healthcare system is broken. People get their insurance claims denied. They end up dying or living less quality lives because of it. So I get people saying some of the shit that they were saying. But as the week rolled on, I started to realize, oh, you guys aren't joking. You're 100% serious. You think that this CEO should have been murdered and that the guy who did it should be set free. That's mental. You don't actually want to live in a place where somebody can be murdered because somebody decides to for ideological reasons, do you? Because that place exists, and it's called Haiti. And I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the people from there are coming here. And it's not just because of our delicious cats, dogs, and water birds. So they caught the guy. His name is Luigi Mangion. I'm sure you know that already, as it's been plastered everywhere. But one thing is for sure about Luigi Mangion: he does not skip ab day, which has been another odd development in this story, talking about the sexiness of this man. But more substantively, even though he's being cheered on by the socialist progressive left, he appears to actually have most of the qualities that they hate in a person. First off, he's white. Strike one. He's a he. Strike two. He's a preppy private school kid whose tuition for his high school was $38,000 a year. He's basically just one of those kids from Covington a few years ago that all of you deemed worthy of hate. So let's dig in. You think that the American healthcare system is broken, and therefore you think that what Mangion did was good. Here's why that argument does not hold water. First of all, healthcare system means just that. An entire system. So, if you were very angry, then yeah, I guess shooting the CEO of an insurance company is one way to go. You could also hold the doctors who do not perform these medical treatments accountable when the insurance claim is denied. Why not? Are they not just as culpable for the person not receiving the care? They could do it anyway, couldn't they, theoretically? And if you're saying, well, no, they can't because the system doesn't allow them to do it, the system doesn't allow you to shoot people either. Then there's the nurses, the administration staff, pharmaceutical companies, their CEOs, their sales reps, the lobbyists, on and on and on. If it's okay to shoot this guy, why not all of them and have it be complete anarchy? In Canada, we have free healthcare, but wait time to see specialists and then wait time to get necessary tests done has also caused the death of lots of people. Should people just go around and start shooting bureaucrats? And the hypocrisy of this situation just keeps going and going because for all the leftists and progressives out there, you're supposed to be the anti-gun, gun control people. You want to get rid of guns unless they're used to kill people you decide deserve to die? You guys are asking for a world you do not want to live in. This year has already been wrought with political violence with the 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump. And now we have a successful assassination of a CEO of an insurance company. These acts of political violence stem from the extremists on the left side of the political aisle. Do you not think that the extremists on the right side of the political aisle are paying attention? Do you want those guys to start coming out of the woodwork and assassinating people that they don't agree with? Because that is called a civil war. And if that kicks off, I really don't think you guys have considered just how drastically your life is going to change. You're not going to be able to go to that cute coffee shop in your neighborhood anymore. You're not going to be able to get down to Cancun this year to beat your seasonal depression. The point is that the people who are cheering this on, like myself, live in a very safe, cozy world. And you're cheering on things that are going to completely upend it as if you're separate from it, as if it's not actually going to affect you. For all the progressives out there, the thing you identify as literally means progress. And we have progressed on many issues, like race relations, the LGBTQ community, a lot of things we have moved forward on. Another thing that we really move forward on, lack of political assassinations. There was a time period where that's all anybody did. They just shot people they didn't agree with. And I'm sorry, but it's just so obvious that you guys aren't thinking it through. There is no way you could survive in a world like that. I'm sorry to be blunt, but you're soft. You're the people who wanted to ban red hats because you said they were triggering. You're the people who can't take jokes on Twitter. You're the people who try to ban speakers from talking in public places because you don't agree with them. So you can stop pretending that you want to live in a world of tit-for-tat political assassinations. It's okay to not like a guy and also think that killing him is bad. Assad has been ousted as the leader of Syria, and his replacement is a guy with past affiliations to Al-Qaeda and ISIS. So it's all smooth sailing now. Assad's obey or die regime is over, and it's been replaced with the much more amicable obey or die horribly. Daniel Penny was acquitted in the death of Jordan Neely, and this case is being compared to that of Luigi Mangion and Brian Thompson. But they are very different. Daniel Penny is a former Marine. He put Jordan Neely in a chokehold when he was acting erratic and menacing on the subway. This part is not up for debate. There are eyewitness accounts of people saying how afraid they were by Jordan Neely walking up and down the subway screaming he didn't care if he died and he didn't care if he went to jail. Look, it's very easy to Monday morning quarterback this and say what you would have done differently, what he could have done differently, what should have been done differently. But you have to realize tensions were high in New York at this point in time, and in most major cities. The increase of random acts of violence was very palpable. So the tension was high on the train. People felt threatened. Daniel Penny was somebody who felt he could step in and do something about it. And he was still arrested. He still went to trial. He was acquitted of the charges because the jury could not find criminal intent in his actions. Daniel Penny did not leave the house that morning with the intention of killing a random person on the subway. That is not the case with Luigi Mangion. He planned this for some time before he did it, and he left the house that morning with one intent: murder the CEO of United Healthcare. This case was a mess from the beginning, with prominent figures in New York like AOC taking to social media to claim that there was a race angle to this. But it's important to note, race was not even brought up a little bit in the trial. You can say that you think it was racism, but ultimately you think it was racism simply because the races of the two people involved were different. Honestly, do a little experiment. Swap out the races of the two people involved. Let's say that Daniel Penny was black and Jordan Neely was white. Everything else is the same though. You wouldn't even have heard about this case. And it probably would not even have gone to trial because the case is very weak. And if it did go to trial, Al Sharpton and the other people standing outside of the courtroom screaming that Daniel Penny is a murderer would have an exact opposite approach. They would be screaming about how the system was railroading a black hero. And that is the real problem. Your opinion on a situation should not do a full 180 flip as soon as you change the races of the people involved. I know it becomes a little trickier when the media baits you into thinking about it from a racial angle, but you have to do the hard work yourself. And if your opinion can do a complete 180 flip as soon as you change the races of the people involved, you can stop pretending that you're some sort of moral leader. The Mexican president said that Canada wishes that we had the cultural riches of Mexico. Sure, there are plenty of aspects of Mexican culture that Canadians would love to have, but it also should be said that there are plenty of parts of Canadian culture that Mexico wouldn't mind. Canada can borrow from Mexico their food, weather, beaches, mariachi bands. And Mexico can borrow from Canada not being kidnapped and cartels not beheading your elected officials. I know it's shocking, but some people are very disappointed with their investment in the sloppy blowjob girls' cryptocurrency. I am somebody who is skeptical of change, and often people like me are criticized for not embracing advancements in technology. The next sentence that I am about to speak is the most clear-cut example as to why I am so skeptical of this change. The Haktua girl, whose video went viral in which she described spitting on a during a blowjob, made her intensely rich and famous, and then she decided to create a cryptocurrency, which immediately crashed and wiped out $500 million in investment money. Everything I just said in that sentence is pretty much brand new. It would not have made sense 10 or 15 years ago, and it's all bad. Going viral for talking about spitting on a dick and that making you rich and famous is already insane enough. But then thinking, well, what am I going to do with all this rich and fame? I might as well try to create a new currency. I know this is the way of the world now, but I cannot be the only one who thinks that this is not sustainable and a very significant sign of society's inevitable collapse. I think we can all agree that an economy cannot be based on dick-spitting coins. An AI companion app suggested to an autistic boy that he should kill his parents. And before you get all doom and gloom and talk about malevolent AI killing us all, you have to think first. Were his parents CEOs for insurance companies?